Hello everybody, today we're gonna talk about the emotional reasons why we are overweight. How many times you feel that you eat, doesn't matter what you eat, you can eat lettuce and you gain weight. You just have to look at food and you gain weight. You probably have one of those friends that they eat, doesn't matter what they eat loads and they never gain weight. And you are here thinking, doesn't matter what diet I do, I can never lose weight. Well, I'm here today to tell you that it's an emotional reason for why you're not losing weight. And it doesn't matter what diet you're going on, if you don't attack the emotional reasons, it doesn't matter what diet you do, the weight is gonna come back. How many times you see in programs like The Biggest Loser, they go to this ranch, they lose a lot of weight, they're there for 2-3 months, but when they get out, they gain the weight. Because while they were there, they were protected. They were on diet, exercise, machines. They go out to the real world that they cause them to be overweight. And now they have to face that again because they never worked on their emotions. So that's why I'm here today to talk about the emotional reasons why I know for fact, because I have seen it many times in my practice, the people get overweight. But to understand that, we need to understand what overweight is, what's conformed. It's water and fat. Because you know for fact that every time you lose a couple pounds, a couple kilos, whatever you call it, is water. Everybody tells you, of course you lose 10 pounds, 4 kilos in 1 week because it's water. But overweight also is fat. But water refers to protection. When we have water around us, is to protect us. Just like when you have a blister on your feet full of water, it's there to protect you because something is rubbing, and now a blister comes up because it's there to protect you. So water also refers to the mother, because our first contact with water was in our mother's womb. And that is the memory we have with water. Here in my mother's womb, I'm protected. Now when I come out of the world to the world, it may be another story. But while we are there inside, we may be protected. Some people are not. And that's when all starts. But when we come out, we may not protect it because the environment that is around us maybe not be the most pleasant one. But while we're there, maybe we are protected from that. So our reference with water is also our mother and the mother womb. And then the water also refers to reserves. The money reserves, the fluidity, the liquidity, the money. We talk about that because also when we have problems with our kidneys, tells us about a big loss, a financial loss. Or sometimes we don't have enough money, so we have to block those kidneys. And that's when we have kidney problems. Kidney failure. There's no money there. I lost it all. When it's kidney problems, we have to look for that. So that's for the same reason when we have water in our body, we have to look for liquidity. The liquids in our body, the liquids in our pockets, what we don't have, and we have to retain. We also have to retain food because we didn't have food maybe at one point, and we now have to retain it. We have to keep it, eat like bears. The bears eat a lot and then they just hibernate. sometimes what we do. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that also. And sometimes we just try to make a reservation of our mother, that love that we also had once maybe, but we don't have it anymore, so now I have to keep it, to reserve it on me, so I can feel my mom close to me. And then the main thing with all of this, and as I said, then is the fat. Sorry. Then is the fat. Because of course, if we will be just water, we will be just like a water mattress, isn't it? And we're just gonna be wobbling. So that's why we need fat. So we can create the best wall around us. A strong wall made out of water and made out of fat. And we have that wall around us that is gonna protect us. The main emotions behind the obesity and overweight is I feel unprotected. I feel isolated. I felt and I feel abandoned. Those are the main reasons behind the overweight. And what happens is that when we have a situation that reminds us of that situation, that's when we go back. Now, I have a good calculation to give you, but I only have it in kilos. And I don't know how it works really in pounds or how it works in stones. So what you should do right now is this. I'm gonna ask you right now, how many kilos, pounds, stones you think, not what the world thinks, not what your doctor thinks, not what the obesity society thinks. What is that number that you think you need to lose to feel happy, to feel good with yourself? Maybe that is a number that you've been before. So go back to that number. Now you're gonna have to bear with me because the only way I know how to do this, it's with kilos. So whatever number you choose in pounds or stones, convert it in kilos. And that number, my dear, is gonna give you what happened there in your life. So let's pretend you are 35 years old and you believe you have 15 kilos. That's the number, converted number of what you chose. That is the number, 15 kilos, right? So what happened there at your 15 years old? And what happened there, if you're 35 minus 15, 20. What happened there? In terms of I felt unprotected. I felt abandoned. I felt isolated. Look for that number and believe me, it always works. Always. So go to that. Because that number is going to tell you what happened there. So let's pretend 15, daddy abandoned you, yeah? So that was the first time you felt maybe unprotected. Maybe you felt before, but that one hurt you. That one was, abandonment. It hurts. So let's say that, but you didn't gain weight. Only now when you're 35. Maybe when you got married. Normally people say, oh, when you get married, people get comfortable and that's when they start gaining weight. No. The problem is that person you marry. Because that person you marry may be the best husband, best wife in the world. They protect you. They truly protect you. These ones are good parents, actually. Normally that's what happens. This person I have today really protects me. But unfortunately, unconsciously, we think you careful because this person may abandon you just like your dad did, just like your mother did. And it doesn't matter if it's a wife and your father is the one that abandoned you. It doesn't matter. Sex is not the problem here. The problem is that memory we have. Because that's what normally happens when we've been abandoned. It doesn't matter if it's actually real. Even if it's a symbolic. Dad was working a lot, so he was not there, so he was not a present dad. We keep going to life finding those partners that are just the same. We always fall in love with married woman or married man. Unavailable people. Just like my dad was unavailable for me. So we keep repeating the patterns. So when we get married, that's when we gain weight. Because unconsciously, unconsciously we are thinking, careful, don't get too attached here. He may abandon you again, or she may do it. Although they are the best husbands in the world. It's something that we do unconsciously. Sometimes the overweight starts when we separate from somebody. But now we're talking about, I need to put barriers around me. I need to keep people away from me. So that's when I start being big. I get big, big, big. So I can just put this big wall around me. So you don't touch me. You don't get close to me. Because if I have to get close to you, you may hurt me. Like they hurt me before. Like my dad hurt me before. Like my mom hurt me before. Or stories already in our tree. Our grandparents. The stories like that we've been carrying unconsciously. Then it's the other people that actually they separate. But those lose a lot of weight. They get amazing. They go to the gym, abs, all the whole package. Those people were in this relationship, they already been mourning for a long, long time. They were ready. They were ready for that separation. They had nothing to do there anymore. Long time ago, they didn't have nothing to do. So now we go to the very archaic mind of us. And we are ready to hunt. And that's why we get amazing when we separate. And that's why those people don't gain weight. Because they already done all their work before they separate. Or the people that gain weight on teenage years. Mostly in the girls, and boys too, but mostly in girls. When they're doing that physical change, now there we have to look stories in our family of abuse, sexual abuse. We have to look for all of that. What happened to my mom? What happened to my nan at that time, at my age? Or what happened to me maybe when I was younger, and now my unconscious is telling me just careful. Because if that happened when you were so tiny, imagine what's gonna happen to you now that you're changing your body. In those cases, we always have to look for our tree, to our family tree. What happened there in those cases? The other is when we gain weight because of hunger. Not because we are truly hungry, but we are afraid that we're gonna be hungry. Because we are afraid that we may lose our job. This is what happens to quarantine. A lot of people gain weight because of this uncertainty. They didn't know what's gonna happen. I lost my job, or I may lose my job. So what's gonna happen to me? So that's when I start piling and piling, just in case I'm full. In case that I have to go to starvation mode, I am ready. And that's why we fill ourselves up, just to protect ourselves, just in case the bad stuff is gonna come and I'm gonna be reliving hunger times. Maybe I didn't have that, but my mom had it, my dad had it, my grandparents had it, my great-grandparents maybe been in the war, and they really starved. And we carry those memories with us, even if we don't think we do, we do. So that is another reason. You know that saying that says, "You worth what you weight"? I don't know if you use that a lot in English, but in Spanish we do. You are worth what you weight. Just like the pound coins, the current currency, the pound was measured back then in the days as the weight of each coin. And just like that in many other countries, the peso mexicano, peso uruguayo, peso argentino, all of the currencies were weighed like that. So we have this family thoughts that we, or beliefs is the word that I'm looking for. So we have this family beliefs that if we are big, we are worth more. We even make jokes about that. I remember people saying to me, you know, look at all my investment. That's a lot of money I put here. That's what I'm worth. This is my worth. I'm showing it to you. I'm big because of that. Because we carry this from families to families, generations and generations, where many generations are obese. And that is not because of what they eat, it's what they think, or what they haven't been able to take out. So we've been carrying all of that. The other factor could be that when somebody goes out of the country, they leave the country or they leave the city, they go work in another city and they feel like fish out of water. And we go back to the water because we were little fishes first inside mom's womb. So when we get out of the world, and the world is dangerous, like I was saying earlier. So when that happens and we change countries or we change cities and we are fishes out of the water, we start getting big, full of water, so we don't feel like fishes out of water anymore. Now, when the overweight comes with the thyroid, now there we have to look at problems with the time. I need more time. I need to rush. People with thyroid problems always are rushing, hypothyroid. They're always rushing. They always need more time. They're always late because, oh, I didn't have enough time. Those people feel the need of escape all the time. They need to get away. Sometimes it's because they are in a relationship for many years where they don't want to be there. And they want to escape, but they don't have enough time. They need to do many things before they can actually escape. Now, if the thyroid comes with problems of conceiving a baby, now we have to look at the tree, at the family tree, what happened there. Because sometimes the woman gets close to their 40s, their 30s, or whatever that age is for them, where they think they don't have more time. And they get diagnosed with thyroid problems because they don't have time. Time is running out and I haven't been able to get pregnant. Or they have babies already, but they want the last one. And time is going and I just don't have more time for this. So that's what we need to look when there's thyroid problems, when they come with obesity. What do you want to do? Do you want to escape from what? That's what you need to ask yourself. Other reason is when the attack came from the outside. The ones from outside are always attacking us. That happens in families where the paternal family doesn't get along with the maternal, so we keep ourselves to ourselves because the ones outside are not good. They're always attacking us. So that's another reason. So that's when we start building that big old wall full of fat and full of water to protect us, because always the ones outside are hurting us. So I need to protect myself. And when it's loss of a father, a mother, a grandma, a friend, my best friend die, and that I leave that as an abandonment. And that's when I start building this big old wall around me of fat and water. Well, I think I put them all pretty much, and I make a big long video. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about each part of the body, because each part of the body, because you may be very tiny on your legs, but you have a big belly, or you have big arms and big boobs, but actually you're very tiny the bottom down. So in the next video, I'm gonna talk about overweight in each part of the body. Now, just one more thing, which I think I forgot to say. When the number that you have to lose is bigger than your age, then you have to look back at mom. What happened to my mom when she conceived me, when she was pregnant with me, when I was 2-3 years old? What happened in all of these terms that I'm talking about? Because what happened there, I'm keeping it today with me like a program, because we just do that. We just copy behaviors. Even if it's emotional behaviors, we copy them. So when is that? And also, if the number is bigger than your age, you have to look if mom didn't had an abortion or a miscarriage before I was born. Because if that is the case, is not better words for me to tell you, but we are carrying a dead body with us. And that is a heavy weight. And that is something that I work a lot on my sessions. And I'm going to make a video of that, when the unborns and what happens to us when we come after that one that didn't make, and the impact that that has on our lives, which it can come from obesity, depression, trypophobia. Trypophobia, it's always stories unborn in the family. Well, it's many. I have to, it will go too long this. Even the professions that we choose has to do a lot with that also. So in one of the next videos, I'm going to talk about that, because that is a subject that I work a lot on my sessions. A lot. Anyways, I hope this helped you today. And in the next video, we're going to talk about each part of the bodies. Take care and love you lots.